We need to remember that there's an amount of people who have a real problem with anything that's new and anything that's different. Back in the 50s, people were outraged by Elvis and how he moved his hips. They thought it was overly sexualized. In the 60s, people were frustrated with the Beatles. They thought they have long hair and rock music is of the devil. There's always going to be fads of anything that's new. So if we go back farther, so the Amish were against electricity and we're against cars and different technological things. And there's an amount of them that have still held on to that, and they still ride around with horses. They couldn't adapt to something that was new and something that was different, so much so that they've held on to those old ways for more than 100 years. Then we have Islam, which thinks it's like there's a part of Islam that thinks it's overly sexualized for a woman to show her elbows or her ankles, so they make them stay completely covered. We move farther back. When organs were introduced, there was an amount of people who were completely outraged by that, because in the church they had just been singing a cappella music, and the idea of using an instrument seemed horrible. There was people who actually called it the abomination of desolation, thought this was a prophecy of the end of the world. There was in one church in the USA where apparently a man went in with a gun and shot the organ. He was so outraged by it. People were offended by cars, killed people that were driving cars. And we go back even farther and we go to the Old Testament and we see things like there being laws against using different kinds of material in your clothing, or against men wearing dresses. People have this picture in their mind of what is normal and what is right, and merely because it is different, something that they're not accustomed to, they react very negatively to that, and they create excuses or reasons to be antagonistic to these things.